Welcome to the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnny Maggs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, episode 404, coming to you live from the Uncle Steve Shake Studios in Center Barnstead, New Hampshire. It's the podcast where we talk barbecue and a lot of other things that we normally talk around the pit. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's see, we got Daddy Dutch, always number one, I think, except that for last week. Joe's Meat Market, Gabriel and crew, what's happening? Matt Pereira, what is going on? Jared from Waypoint Barbecue, Hi Cupcake, what's up, brother? Oh, boys and girls, and they'll all be trickling in. But, guys, we are in for an evening. I found this gentleman and his content about 2 months ago, and I fell in love. I did. The content is amazing. The subject matters are incredible. We'll get into a little bit of barbecue this evening. Certainly a little whole hog going on. But we're talking, as he puts it, country boy down home cooking, down home recipes. If you want to make your taste buds hoop and holler recipes. So we're going to get into that very shortly. So let's start it out how we always do. Tonight's episode brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. What do we say, guys? Uncle Steve, everybody's favorite uncle. He takes pride in his seasonings. 19 amazing flavors. The sauce with no name. The list goes on. He makes sure and takes pride in the freshness. If you order today, your order is getting mixed within the next 24 to 48 hours. So when it arrives on your doorstep, it is the freshest product possible. No fillers, no preservatives, all natural, incredible stuff. And he wears all the hats. He's mixing the shake. He's bottling, packaging, labeling, shipping. He's answering phone calls. He's answering emails. He'll reach out to you in a phone call or email if he, for some reason, has a question about your order. He wants your experience with Uncle Steve Shake to be the best it can be. And if you have a question for him, call him up, send him an email. He'll gladly sit down and have a chat with you to work out any flavor profiles that you're looking to hit. So check him out at UncleStevesShake.com. Also on Facebook at Uncle Steve Shake Nation. Uncle Steve Shake, shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Joe's Meat Market, the diamond of Roy City, Texas. Gabriel and his crew do an amazing job day in, day out. Never a day off at Joe's Meat Market. The protein selection, incredible. Right now, has been going on for a bit. T-bone steaks, 10 to 12 ounces, $5.99 each. That's right, each. Filet mignon wrapped in bacon, $5.99 each. Out the door. Out the door. Highest grade steaks, competition ready ribeyes, available daily. Produce brought in fresh every morning. For us competition guys and backyarders, he's got us covered too. Multiple lines of rubs, seasonings, sauces, injections, marinades, including the Joe's Meat Market house line of seasonings, which I believe is also up to 18 and 19 himself. Now, officially a nomad authorized dealer. So Nomad charcoal, Nomad sticks, and I believe Nomad grills themselves, all available at Joe's Meat Market. And while you're there, are you feeling a little hungry? He's got you covered too. Gabriel's mom's behind the counter, whipping up some of the freshest cuisine all day long. So string on in, get your supplies for the weekend, grab a plate, grab a bowl, sit down with the boys, make a new friend, and sit there and talk barbecue, leave all the other stuff out on the curb. So if you're ever in the Royce City area, swing by Joe's Meat Market and tell them I sent you. Remember, folks, Joe's Meat Market for the win. Now, I had forgot this one till later. Now I have to find it again. Darn it. There it is. Today's episode also brought to you by the Champions Barbecue Alliance and Matt's Backyard Barbecue. The 2026 Road to Barbecue Greatness runs through New England this season and beyond. The New England Triple Crown is back for year 2 and bringing the next battle for the belt buckle with it. Introducing the 2026 Uncle Steve's Shake New England Triple Crown, sanctioned by the Champions Barbecue Alliance. 3 competitions, 3 states, 1 champion. This isn't a one weekend win. It's a season-long battle for consistency and barbecue fire. If you want the crown, you've got to run the gauntlet. 7 Maples Smoke Showdown in New Hampshire, Vines Vineyards in Rockingham, Vermont, and Camp Harkness Beachside Smoke Showdown in Waterford, Connecticut. Show up and show out with your best chicken, ribs, pork, and brisket, jackpots, and unique opportunities, including the Loaded Bloody Mary, the Future of Q, and the Women of Q events this year and beyond to be fire. Only one team will stand at the end, New England Triple Crown champion. Register is open. Step up and show out, powered by Uncle Steve's Shake. I will have the promos for multiple of the contests with the sign-up links. Sign-ups have been going very well. There's still plenty of room if you all want to jump on in, and let's go. All right. Jeff from Waypoint Barbecue. What's up, brother? All right, guys. I have been giddy for about a month for this. So without any further ado, down to the brass tacks, as I used to say, ladies and gentlemen, from the great state of Tennessee, please welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Foodin cousin Churb. Churb, how are you, brother?
I'm doing wonderful down here tonight, Johnny. How about you?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me this evening and finding out, telling your story, finding out a little bit more about you and the content that you bring us and the enjoyment of your content that I'm introducing a lot of people to now. But so, yes, thank you. It's my honor to have you. And so please, right off the bat, please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, where you're from, and then we'll get into how Foodin Cousins Churb was born.
Well, actually, I live in West Tennessee. I'm married, have 3 kids, and I actually got started. All this got started. I was going in local restaurants and doing videos, promoting, the local mom and pops, showing their food, and it kind of just like one thing led to another. And one day, a buddy of mine said, "Dude, you need to start doing this on social media." I said, "No, nobody wants to see it." So anyway, to make a long story short, that's how it all got started in mom and pop restaurants here in all around West Tennessee. And I guess it was around September last year. My wife told me, she goes, "You need a little help. I'm finna start helping you out just a little bit." So that's when it actually, when everything started taking off. She's kind of like my technical person.
Uh-huh.
I do the videos, and she helps me, doing all the editing and everything.
Yeah, and she has also appeared in some of the videos, and
Yes,
it's you guys definitely feed off each other, and she seems like very wonderful, beautiful lady. So you're a lucky man, C Herb.
well, I appreciate you having me on your show, Johnny. I'm tickled to death.
Oh yeah, but no, like I said, your content. So that was interesting. Supporting the local business, the mom and pops, bringing them into the light. Which is fantastic, and it has grown from there, and it's very from how you say it, and the recipes you show. It's very simple recipes that when you're doing a recipe video, like you said, it's down home country boy cooking.
I try to keep everything really simple so people can, they can, save it. And then, I try to stay away from stuff with 20 or 30 ingredients.
Yeah.
I'm cooking food that I've been eating since I was a kid. It's very simple for anybody to make.
Yep. No, absolutely. And that, like I said, the recipes, those were some of the videos. Then you have other videos, excuse me, that you're out on a mission, finding certain things.
I love the missions.
Oh, and they're fantastic because I know I'm guilty of it. And I know a lot of people in this chat and watching and listening are guilty of it. And when we get there, you'll go, yep, guilty as charged. And then you still have the occasional video of showing, you've been had a couple on Walmart. And,
Yes.
if you take, we'll get into the one of my favorites. Folks, like I said, check his social media out. Subscribe on all of them: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You will not be disappointed. But there's one you're sitting there in the front seat of your car with $100 bill, and goes, "Did you know if you take $100 and if you have a weekend and your wife is away, you can take $100 bill and go to Walmart and get all of this, and you're getting peanut butter and jelly, bread, donuts, frozen pizza, beanie weenies, Vienna sausage. The list goes on and on." And back to the counter, and you can get all of this for $100, and she'll never know because you paid cash. There's no record of it. It's those family jokes,
Right.
of between a husband and a wife, or brother and sister, siblings, anybody, any family member, but those, how do you come up with, like, say, those type of, like, the Walmart videos, or we'll start with, like, the Walmart videos. How does those ideas come to be?
I'm going to be very, very honest with you. It's almost like writing a country song. You'll be sitting around one day and something will hit you, and you go, wow, that's a video. And bam, we do it and shoot it. And that one happened to do very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, sometimes she'll get up the next morning and say, I didn't sleep very much last night. I got a good idea for a video.
Nice. That's exactly it. You guys work together on them to come up with the ideas, and you both execute, and we reap the benefits.
And I actually love those type of videos. I had no idea when all this started that we were going to go into recipes, but the people love the recipes. They love them.
Yeah.
So, I do the simple recipes and then try to work into other stuff, just to mix things up a little bit.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let's see. You had a few more jump in. Brother Leprechaun TV. What's happening, brother? NBL, nothing but love. What's going on, brother? The Moose Barbecue. What's happening? Thank you for tuning in, brother. Daddy Dutch. There he is. Brother Steven from Cooking with Steven and Jacqueline, coming to us live from Trinidad and Tobago. Brother, we're starting to warm up here in New England. I'm assuming you're probably pretty much already there, weather-wise. But thank you, Steven, for tuning in. The best mod in the game. But yeah, no, the videos, they're fantastic. The recipes. Some of the recipes. One that's intrigued me and I'm dying to try out is you did a recipe and it's called Hoover Stew. Tell us a little bit about Hoover Stew and the recipe itself. Like I said, very simple ingredients, real easy. I don't think any of your videos take more than an hour to make, to cook, to be done with. Prep to finish.
The Hoover Stew, I'm going to be real honest with you, came from my grandmother. My grandmother started doing the Hoover Stew. And then, of course, my mother started doing it. I was raised in a home with two other brothers. So, like, we went through some food. Back when I was growing up, most of the moms stayed home and the dad worked. So, like, we ate stuff that was cheap and you could stretch out. Does that make any sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Hoover Stew, it's a very simple. It all goes in one pot. I believe it's white beans and tomatoes. With the corn, yes. Yep.
Very, very, very simple. But then at the end, when you take it out, everything just looks so delicious. You've done those. You've done sandwiches. Your cobbler recipes are out of this world. You do you've done multiple ones, like a strawberry cobbler, peach cobbler, very simple, flour, sugar, powdered sugar, and mix that. And the best part, they all start with a melted stick of butter and an entire stick of butter. I don't think starting out with an entire stick of melted butter can hurt any recipe.
No. Dude, I live down here in the South. Butter, everybody. You keep butter in your house at all times.
Yep. No, absolutely. But those recipes, and like you said, they're recipes that you grew up on. So and you have, like I said, you have countless ones. So picking a few of them out is extremely difficult. Hank Vaden, thank you for tuning in. Butter is king here in the South. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Daddy Dutch, sugar, butter. Yeah, New England accent. God, I should have known you were going to come in throwing punches at some point here, Dutch. But that's what you're here for, and that's why you're loving. Oh, brother Steven, thank you. He's starting to throw up. This one is the link to your YouTube channel, and then he'll get in the Facebook and TikTok. He'll get in all your links, so everybody can go in right now and subscribe and check the content out. Fantastic. What are some of your favorite recipes? Well, let's start with a dinner recipe, obviously the Hoover Stew, and then we'll get into desserts and maybe hit some sandwiches, because sandwiches brings up a whole nother debate.
I'm going to think, if I had to go with a simple comfort food dinner, I'm going to go with a very simple meatloaf. Meatloaf is what we call comfort food down here in the South. And like, you cannot, a preacher told me one time, if you go in a restaurant and order meatloaf and it's good, all the rest of the food's going to be good too.
Yes, sir. Yep. No, absolutely. So meatloaf is on top of the list.
Meatloaf, potatoes.
Can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong there. What are some of the other ones that you have done?
Spaghetti is a big, easy thing down here in the South. We eat a lot of spaghetti.
Yep. Regular style, little barbecue style, a little barbecue sauce in there to spice things up.
Yes. Cowboy beans. That's a big deal for me. I love to make a big old pan of cowboy beans.
Yeah.
Beans, brown sugar, mustard.
Yeah. Oh, with beans. Thank you for bringing that up. You had, I don't know how, I don't want to necessarily say it was recent one, but you had given a tip out on making beans and not having to soak them for overnight 24 hours. You figured out a much simpler way of doing it.
Yes, and that's something that I picked up from my grandmother years and years and years ago. We just you boil them and then let them sit, and then they're ready to go.
Just let it bring it to a boil, then just let it sit, or boil it for a certain amount of time and then let it sit.
Boil them for a certain amount of time and then let them sit. That video has actually done very well for me.
Yeah. I remember seeing that one and going, okay. Any of those tips to make the cooking process simpler, is fantastic. So, those were some of the dishes. Now we get into the sweet tooth. And I can say pretty confidently that you have a sweet tooth.
Oh, yes. Yes. Me and little Debbie got a thing going.
Speaking of little Debbie, I think it's time that you and I have a moment together and share a snack of the Little Debbie's double-decker oatmeal creams. You see, Herb, this is the first Little Debbie's I have had in almost a year and a half.
Wow.
I had went to the doctor, which was my first problem, and he gave me the little type 2 diabetes numbers. And so I straightened those out to the point of I do have numbers of a non-diabetic. So I have said that since being a good boy for a year and a half, and you and your love for Little Debbie's as much as I and a lot of other listeners right now and viewers, today is the day I am breaking it, and I am going to enjoy this with you, my friend. Thank you for everything you do, the content you bring, and joining me this evening.
Mm-hmm. That Little Debbie, that one right there has been around a long, long time, and it's not ever going anywhere.
No,
it's something you walk in a store and you need something sweet, they're going to have it sitting right there in the counter. One of my favorites.
Oatmeal cream pie. Yep. And guys, this is the double decker. Pay no attention to the 500 calories. That's just someone's opinion. It is worth every calorie. Oh. But yes, I'm going to tell you a little story. My wife had gotten me my competition trailer pit built by my dear friend Ryan Newland from Backline Fabrication in Austin, Texas. And we had to go back in 22, and we had driven down to go pick it up because I had to tow it back. But I made the point is I have friends along the way, and I had planned to stop by and see a few of them. And there was a friend of mine, Steve Ray, from the Owl's Nest Barbecue Pro Shop in the Midnight Oil gas station. And he is and you've probably been there, the great city of Ottawa, Tennessee, just outside of Chattanooga.
Yes.
So we had swung by there. That was my first stop, was to see him, have lunch with him, meet him in person after all the years. And fast forward to, I don't know, that following Christmas, maybe the year after, I wound up finding out that the Little Debbie's headquarters was within walking distance of his shop. And I had no idea. And I had no idea they had the actual store itself with the Little Debbie prices on all the goodness. I called him up. I go, Steve, when I was down there, I appreciate everything you did for me and my family and welcoming us in. But you could have helped a brother out and told me about the Little Debbie's plant outside the back door of the garage. He goes, oh, I didn't mention that? I go, no, sir, you did not. Yeah. Well, he goes, I guess you're just going to have to come back down to Ottawa. I go, I suppose that's right. But yeah, well, right down the road from you.
Besides Little Debbie, my other two favorite snacks in the world is the moon pie, and it's also originated in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then one of my very favorites is the Goo Goo Cluster, and it originated in Nashville, Tennessee. So we got some, we got it going on down there.
You got to. Now, it brings up another video. The moon pie. The moon pie and peanut butter in the microwave for what was it, about 20 seconds?
Yeah, 20 seconds. Yeah. You cut that moon pie in half, fill it up with peanut butter, about 20 seconds. Then if you don't get it all over you, you're lucky.
Absolutely. Chef Johnny, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining, brother. The moon pie video, what was the one that you did? You call it the best s'mores you'd ever have.
That was the moon pie and the peanut butter.
Was that the moon pie and the peanut butter? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, these things I'm gonna jump back up with some of these videos because I have to try them, right. And a lot of the guys are gonna try them because when we're at the competitions this year, boys, we're having some snacks. I'm bringing out an arsenal of C. Herb's recipes with me, and we're gonna have some fun. Oh, there's my darling Jen Lee. How are you, dear? Great to see you. Hope everything is well. Those ones, but obviously a cobbler recipe, goes hand in hand with the South. And how many cobblers have you made? You've had and any flavor fruit really you can turn into a cobbler.
Well, to be real honest with you, the peach cobbler was the very first cobbler I did. Very simple. Cup of milk, cup of sugar, cup of flour. And God definitely blessed me with that video right there. That's what got the whole recipe thing started. And like, I was going, wow. People like recipes, simple recipes. So that, I definitely was blessed with the peach cobbler recipe.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so with all these recipes, there is one very important, intricate, if you will, piece of equipment that must be used. And in any true cook's gonna have it. And the answer to that would be, Herb, if you will,
a cast iron skillet.
The cast iron skillet.
Anything that can be cooked in cast iron, I use one of my cast iron skillets.
Now, do you have an array of a little bit of a collection of cast iron? I've collected a few pieces over the years. I know our friend in the chat, Daddy Dutch, has an obscene amount of cast iron. But, do you have a few special pieces?
No, I've got 5 or 6, cast iron skillets and a couple Dutch ovens, different size Dutch, cast iron Dutch ovens. Mm-hmm. And of course, their Lodge, which is made in Tennessee, right outside of Chattanooga.
Yep. But yes, the cast iron. And the key to a cast iron is the seasoning. Beautiful seasoning, shine, glisten, care, love, care, compassion goes into every piece of your cast iron, and it will never fail you. Except if a said piece of cast iron falls into the wrong hands.
The wrong hands, yes. Yeah.
You had done a video recently that you had cooked a recipe and somehow, the crust had stuck to the bottom of your cast iron. Now, I've watched a lot of your videos. You can clearly see that your cast irons are seasoned and are seasoned well. There was a lot of hungry stomachs taken care of by those cast irons. And I have to ask you, how are you doing? Because you were not well.
Oh, I was not well that day at all. Because I was, for one, like if you cook a big old pone of cornbread, you pull it out of the oven and you flip it upside down, it's supposed to look perfect. There's none left in the skillet. It's all right there in front of you. And like that recipe, I don't even remember which one it was now, but about half of it stuck to the bottom of the cast iron skillet. And like, I'm thinking, did I do something wrong? What did I do? Have I not seasoned this thing last time I used it? Because every time I use it, I'm going to season it. I'm going to rub it down. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I got to asking, I just don't know what happened. And come to find out, my wife was trying to help out. I probably, as much cooking as I do around here, the sink stays full. I always washing dishes. Well, she was going to help me out because I had to go do something, and she ran it in the dishwasher. So like, before I cooked that dish right there, me thinking it was ready to go, but it done been through a whole cycle in the dishwasher. Mm-hmm. So I did panic, but I did regroup. And everything is fine. Everything was fine.
Good. Because I find myself in that very similar situation. And this is my smaller one, but it's well seasoned. And I've gotten my wife and my daughter, they're cooking with the cast irons more And I'm like, you have to do it this way. After it's cleaned out, wipe it down, re-oil it, add some oil to it, and just let it sit. And it takes care of itself. And this is what they give me. It's like, what are you two doing? Well, honey, well, Dad, they're dirty. So we had to clean them. How did you clean them? Oh, in the sink with the sponge and the soap. Oh, heavens to mercy. It was like it was a scene out of Sanford and Son. Here's the big one. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I go, please tell me I didn't hear that you just washed my cast irons with dish soap and a sponge. Well, yeah. And they were so dirty. Oh, God. I'm like, I had to take them away from them. I go, you guys are back to the old stuff. I go, no, this is not right. This is not supposed to be how this is treated. And you phrased it best in that video. I take care of my cast iron better than most people I know. But yes, the cast iron is one of the most necessity tools in, I believe, anybody who does anything culinary in their arsenal is good, well-seasoned cast iron. Because, like you said, you can, just watching your videos, you can bake anything in the cast iron. You can fry anything in the cast iron. Do some, throw the old Trinity, get that rolling you can do a roux in a cast iron. That's all you need is good cast irons. And check this. Larry Vaughn, what's happening afternoon from Delaware? Larry Vaughn is on the move. And Daddy Dutch, I only have about 50 pieces of cast iron. I'm no Chef Johnny, but maybe someday.
Wow.
And then Chef Johnny is being typical Chef Johnny, and I do have one or two. Yeah. Those two gentlemen, see Herb, have I can't even put a number. 50 is on the small end, and that's just with one of them.
Wow.
Ground for this one of them. And Jen Lee is saying, born and raised in Alabama, cast iron my whole life. I use hot water and soap, dry it on the gas stove, and then oil it. Zero issues. Okay. Knowing Jen as well as I do and how long as I have, if she says she can use hot water and soap and dry it, but then the important part is follow that, then oil it. You need to always re-season after use, and they will last you forever. Perfect, Jen. Thank you, dear. Then I saw Tom joined us, Tom Food Factory. What'd he say? Mags, take away the cast iron. Mrs. Mags' shoe and bag budget increases. It's physics. You're right. There needs to be repercussions. But I'm afraid to touch some of those shoes in the bags because I don't know, but I have an idea of what they cost. And I could have a cast iron collection. I sold some since, here we go. I sold some since we were planning on moving, so down to 100, give or take. Oh,
wow.
Jeff, if you feel the need, I will take some of those off your hands gladly and store them up here for you. Wow, that's a lot of cast iron. But brother, I also okay. Now we get into the real fun ones. The mission videos. And I didn't even know. Because like I said, I've been a good boy on my sweets, but you brought me back to the dark side a little bit, which I thank you. Tell me about, and I didn't even know it was out there until you enlightened me, the French toast Butterfinger.
OMG. Well, I guess I was scrolling on social media one day and I saw something about a French toast Butterfinger. I told my wife, I said, get in the car. Let's go. And like, because when I left here, I told her I'm not coming back till I have a Butterfinger, a French toast Butterfinger candy bar. And I'm going to say, to be real honest with you, I probably drove about 35 or 40 miles. And I was fixing to throw in the towel. And I hit this one convenience store, and there they were. And I mean, that's kind of the crazy stuff I'd come up with. A French toast Butterfinger. I mean, who sits around and comes up with this stuff? But I'm telling you, I bought 4 or 5 of them.
Yep.
And like it was worth it. She asked me, she goes, dude, we've done burn a tank of gas. Was it worth it? And I said, I'd have burnt 2.
I would have burnt 2. I would have drove 100
miles.
Yep. Yeah. And then the best part. Now, this is a very important subject, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on this. In that video, I believe it was maybe a second or third stop, and you hear your lovely wife commentating, oh, he's found it. He has a bag. He has a bag. And you get in, and he goes, did you find it? Heck no, I didn't find it. But I figured I needed a snack on the way.
Yeah, it's in case we were going to be on the road for a while.
Can you emphasize on the importance of a road trip snack bag and its contents? What a proper road trip snack bag should entail.
If you get in the car with me, you're not going to go hungry. You might not like the type of food I bring, but nobody's going hungry. I got a big bag, especially for snacks. It's going to have moon pie, goo-goo, meat sticks. I love those meat sticks. I'll have a handful of those. You know, some kind of chips, Cracker Jacks, anything that's not healthy. I'm going to have it in my bag.
Mm-hmm. Do not forget the pickled sausage.
The pickled sausages.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No. Because every time I'll go out with my wife, and she'll run in somewhere, and all of a sudden she comes back, and I'm snacking on something. She's like, "What you got?" "Oh, I had this." "Where'd you get this?" I go, "Don't ask questions, and don't start opening things, and don't push buttons, because you're gonna find my stashes." But those are emergency stashes. But no, a snack bag for road trip is scientific. Because you need to hit all the senses.
Every now and then I'll put some peanut butter crackers in there. This, something my wife will eat, so she doesn't starve to death. But other than that, it's going to be some good road tripping. I love those smoked meat sticks.
Yes,
there's one we can get down here in the South. It's called a fatty brand.
Yeah,
and I love them.
I gotta find those. Yes. Yes, those look amazing. Now, another serious topic in the culinary world, and I am with you on this. I stand with you wholeheartedly, and I'd like to thank a few members of the chat for turning me on to this particular brand of condiment or ingredient in some recipes, therefore. Duke's mayonnaise, I believe, far superior. The king of the mayonnaise. Now, I will say that blue plate out of Louisiana is right up there also.
Right there. It's right there with it.
Right there also. But, being from the Northeast, we've had, I grew up on the Hellman's, which is nothing to sneeze about.
Hey,
It's good
hell,
mayonnaise, but it's no Duke's. Duke's is just another level.
it's that twang. It's got the. You can't.
Got
You
that
just can't
twang.
explain it. It's got that twang.
Now, you and your wife got in quite the debate over deviled eggs and how she makes it, and you simply suggested to use Duke's instead of the Miracle Whip.
Right.
Was there ever a decision made from that, or have I somehow missed a results video?
I believe she went ahead and agreed to go with the Dukes.
Okay.
But that's just the way she was taught, in the way she's made them all her life, and then it's kind of like you wake up one day after 25 years and you hadn't been loading the dishwasher right. You know where I'm coming from?
Oh, loud and clear.
So she said, I've been making these for years. Why all of a sudden now do you want to try Dukes? I said, let's try something different. You can't beat Dukes. So yes, she did. She did that batch with Dukes, and they were phenomenal.
Oh, yes, but yeah, I saw that. And I'm like, no, and I forget which platform I was on, but I had comment. I go, no, I stand with Dukes. Dukes is the answer. Dukes is the correct answer. And no, it was one because it's always a debate with the mayonnaise. And finally, because I used to have it smuggled up here. Whenever one of my friends' parents lived down in Myrtle Beach, and any of my guys from North Carolina come up, they're like, "Hey, you need anything?" I go, "Yeah, if you're coming in the Carolinas, I need two things. I need a couple of the biggest bottles of Dukes you can find that Walmart has, and I need a couple cases of Cheerwine soda." I go, "That's what I need, so please bring that up." But finally, one of our grocery stores up here started carrying Dukes on the regular, and makes me a very happy boy. And I got my wife into it too. She won't buy anything else anymore. She goes, "There's just something about it." I go, "It's that twang. It says it right there on the bottle. Duke's got that twang." but yeah, no, I got a kick out of that one. That was fantastic. Now, another thing, I could just go on and on with you, brother. It's fantastic. We were made of the same cloth. We both can appreciate the wonderful cuisine, especially down south, that you can find in a gas station hot box. Where's my bell? Where's my bell? Where's my bell? That's some good eatings. I don't care who you are.
Some of the best food you'll ever find comes out of a gas station hot box. Yes, I love it all. I came home one day and I had me a big order of chicken livers. And she thought it was chicken nuggets. I go, "No, baby, these are hot right out of the grease. They're chicken livers. Best thing I ever put in my mouth."
Yep. No. Oh, no. But no. Once you hit that video, I'm like, oh my God. Finally. Because a bunch of my friends up here, they don't understand. But down south, the gas stations are 5-star quality food. You can go in and just smell the fresh fried chicken getting made, the chicken livers. And if you some of the places have the boudin sausage, but if you really dig deep, you can find the perfect fried pies
Yes.
and the goodness and the
Now,
sweet,
woo,
savory, all in one is a fried pie.
that's my weakness. The fried pie. I love them. There's a little lady that sells them up here in town. About, I don't know, she'll show up about once a month, sells them right out of the back of her car. I'll go, hey, I love supporting local people, And like I'll go up there and I'll buy 10. Give me 10. Just give me just start throwing them, fill the bag up.
No, absolutely. Now, going off of that, here's a couple ideas because you got my inner fat boy and my outer fat boy going. Fried pie sandwiches with Little Debbie's as the bread.
Well, we need to try that.
And then we can really get wild. Do an extreme one, almost club sandwich style. Little Debbie, fried pie. Little Debbie, moon pie. Little Debbie. I think we're on to something.
I do too. We're gonna get rich.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, there's Uncle Steve. What's up, brother? Thank you for tuning in. I got to get with you, brother. I have to have a conversation with you, sir. On the good side, nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. But then Chef Johnny is in the comments is flexing again, Churb, on a cast iron. He kept a couple cast irons from the 1800s. Unbelievable. His skillet in the kitchen is a Victor at least from 1903.
That's amazing.
So 120 plus year cast iron still being used because of proper care. That says it all. That says it all there. Now, where is it? There we go. Get that off. So, see her. I can tell there was a few videos, one in particular of that kind of gave away that you are, at least I believe, an avid fisherman.
Yes.
And
I love the fish.
It was the video that you kept going down to the marina to see if they were ready to go or things like that. And then, I see you with the Huck shirts or the visor. What kind of fishing do you prefer doing?
Well, actually, I live really close to the Tennessee River.
Okay.
So we do a lot of crappie fishing and bass fishing. But I'm also kind of fond of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So once or twice a year, I'll go down there and either red snapper fish or in the spring, there's different types of sheep's head. Sheep's head is a big thing in the spring. And I love them babies. They fight. Okay. They fight.
Yeah.
Pound for pound. Woo.
Nice. So let's just say I make my way down to West Tennessee to get some fishing in with my newest member, my new brother. And we have a wonderful day on the water for ourselves. And then afterwards, after enjoying our snacks throughout the day, we still have a hunger. We want to go for a little whole hog barbecue.
Okay.
Are we going to a particular establishment or are we going to do it ourselves?
I'm going to tell you what. Now, we could do it, okay? But it's like all your people on here, your barbecue people. We could do a butt. We could smoke a butt. But we're going to be on the water. We're not going to have time to fool with it. So we are going, I actually live right on the triangle of the best whole hog barbecue you can buy in Tennessee. I'm very lucky. So as soon as we get out off the water, we're going to come back to the town where I live here in Lexington, Tennessee, and we're going to go to B.E. Scott's. It's been around forever. They cook whole hogs right on the pit every day. The barbecue is just phenomenal. They're on like my friend Zach Parker is the owner of the establishment, and he is on like the top 10 list of pit masters across the United States. And his, the barbecue that comes out of his eating establishment. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of where I'm at in West Tennessee as far as barbecue goes.
Very good, because nothing, Tennessee is known for whole hog barbecue. From the east to the Nashville area, Nashville, you have Pat Martin's barbecue joints, 3 or 4 in the Nashville area.
Yes.
Incredible whole hog, and get into the western part. Now, how do you enjoy the whole hog as in array to like a sauce? Are you, traditional Tennessee, vinegar based, a little mustard based thrown in every once in a while, or a little array of everything?
Yeah.
Get them taste buds hooping and hollering.
Yeah. Now I don't like it. I don't like my barbecue sauce to be like really, really hot, because I don't want to take away from the taste of the barbecue. Does that make any sense? So I'm going to do, just a nice mild barbecue sauce.
Beautiful. Well, we might have to make this happen. I'm due for a vacation. Get some fishing in, get some whole hog.
Oh, if you ever get down here, you just let me know you're coming. I've got a little place. I've got a little place right on the side of the Tennessee River, right on the bank of the river. Little bitty flat bottom fishing boat. We'll jump in it and go have a ball.
Oh no, absolutely. Let me see here. I actually have a text message from our good friend Braden, Australia, a young man who has been cooking with all of us lately in the kids' queues. He has a few questions for you, and I had turned him on to. I haven't talked to him in a week or two, and I talked to him on the ride home this afternoon. He was asking who I had on, and I told him who you were, and he went and checked out your stuff, and apparently he's already got a bunch of your videos watched, because he's got 3 questions, and he's asking, what is a tomato sandwich?
A tomato sandwich, that you can't get any more southern than walking out in a garden, just yanking a big old fat red tomato off the vine, slicing it, slap it on a piece of loaf bread with a big helping of Duke's mayo and some salt. And that right there is a tomato sandwich. No meat needed.
No, absolutely. Then the second one is, what is a slug burger?
Okay. A slug burger actually originated about 20 miles south of me in Corinth, Mississippi. And back during the Depression, I can't remember the guy's name, but he started using like soybean as a filler to mix in with the meat, so people could still afford a hamburger.
Yes,
so
sir.
That it has nothing to do with us. I think they were a nickel, and maybe a nickel. A slug was a nickel, maybe. That's how it.
Yep.
But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah. The nickel slug. Yeah.
yeah, it's nothing to do with like any kind of whatever those things
Nope.
are called. You know what I'm talking about?
Just the old fashioned back in the day 5-cent burger. Yep.
Yeah, but he started using soybeans
Soybeans.
as a filler to help people where they could afford. So it's pretty much mixing soybean and beef, and that's where the slug burger came from, right down the road from me.
Okay. Okay. There you go. And the final question is, what's the weirdest food that you've ever tried?
Wow. I don't know. I've eaten some. I guess the weirdest thing that I've ever eaten. I was in here hungry one night, and I couldn't find anything to eat. I found some cottage cheese, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Cottage cheese. I threw it in a bowl, added some pork and beans, threw in some sliced peaches, and then a bunch of Duke's mayo. And that's what I had. So that's pretty weird.
Yeah, yeah, but hey, it's those combinations you find, and it goes. Well, sometimes it just works.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, and of course, okay, Daddy Dutch got us still sitting there. Got to take his shot about me coming down and fishing with you in your boat. That better not be too small if Mags is getting in it. Thank you, brother. I love you too. Every two, and here in Chef Johnny. We go to Middle Tennessee every few years for a family reunion. The family still owns its plantation there. Love going to Tennessee. Good people out there. No, absolutely, Chef. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm trying to think. There were so many ones I got running through my mind. I think it was your very recent one, the tomato pie.
The tomato pie. Yeah.
Very simple, regular pie, the pie crust. That's the other one I was thinking of. But we'll go with the tomato pie for a minute. You know, very simple. It was the pie crust, some sliced onion, the tomato mixture, and I think, did you top it with cheese?
Cheese and Duke's mixed.
And Duke's. Yes.
A mixture.
Mixture. In the oven, 45 minutes to an hour till it bubbles.
Yes.
Once
Amazing.
again, an hour or less. All of the videos, an hour or less from prep to plate. But the pie crust, I never thought of it until I saw you do it. You had taken the pie crust and you filled it with shredded chicken or cubed chicken, a can of mixed vegetables, a can of cream of chicken, a couple other little things. Then topped it with another pie crust. Push down, little egg wash on top, in the oven, 45 minutes to an hour, still hour or less. Easiest, simplest chicken pot pie.
Chicken pot pie. It'll make you holler.
Simple. And this is what I'm saying, folks. Simple recipes, delicious recipes. You know, we're all sitting, especially, you know, on the barbecue side, but it's even expanding past. It has expanded past the barbecue side and is affecting everybody at these. What's it cost everybody? Think of it right off the top of your head right now. What's it cost you to go to the grocery store for your weekly trip to get you and your family through the week? It's probably going to start, the number's probably going to start with a 2. You know, I went for a couple items just yesterday and it was $150. We're talking simple, yet delicious, economical recipes to feed the whole family. Like I said, right here in your cast iron skillet or your Dutch oven. Simple recipes. You may get a couple leftovers. If I heard leftovers is a thing, I can't say I've ever truly experienced that of a leftover, but that's a personal problem of mine, as people could see the waistline. But not only, see, Herb, are you bringing enjoyment and laughter and love in your content, but on the deeper side of it, you're bringing knowledge. And especially in these times with the way the grocery store prices are, it's simple, affordable recipes that can feed a family for not a lot of money. And so, first off, thank you to you. Please thank your wife for her contributions to your channels and you guys' content that you're bringing. Like you said, not only are you bringing joy and happiness to your viewers, but you're also bringing ideas to help folks survive in the trying times that we find ourselves in these days. There's good times, there's bad times all year long. But a good home cooked comfort food meal can solve a lot of problems, if not just for a little while. Do you agree with that comment?
Yes, sir. I sure do. Yeah, I can remember. That goes back a lot to when I was growing up. I told you I had two other brothers, and of course, mom stayed home, daddy worked. So, there was a lot of stuff that she fed us that filled us up, that was really good food, but didn't cost a whole lot of money. I can remember when I was a little boy, she would peel a bunch of potatoes and make mashed potatoes. And whatever we didn't eat that night, she would put them in the refrigerator. And the next night, she would make potato cakes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
She learned how to, feed, three hungry boys on a budget.
No, I do that now. Especially around Thanksgiving time, because every time I cook, I overdo it. That's just how I was raised. My mother always overdid it. It was enough for us, the neighbors, and the neighbors down the street, all on a family of four. It was that much food. So that's how I've always been accustomed to cooking. But you said that, the potato cakes. We'll make so much mashed potatoes. We'll make so much stuffing or dressing, however you want to call it, or whatever recipe we're using. I will combine the two, the mashed potatoes and the stuffing or the dressing, and fry up cakes that way. Throw a little cheese on top of it, get a little crust going. You got a nice meal. Little sour cream on top.
That sounds like a good one.
You're good to go. Or I've also done this, because what else goes with a holiday meal? Biscuits. If there happens to be some leftover biscuits, and I know Daddy Dutch is going to agree with me because he learned the hard way on biscuits and gravy. But a little biscuit with that potato and dressing cake with some sausage gravy on top of it. A good old boys, good for the day on that one. That's stick
Mm-hmm.
to your bones type love. Oh, let's see. Anybody? His original family's been there. Oh, his wife's part of the family has been in Tennessee for over 200 years. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. NBL, thank you for tuning in, brother. Have a great night. Oh, I have had what is Chef saying? I have had potato cakes and fried potato sandwiches. Got a video on that one. There you go, Chef. Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, the pot pie, that was the one that was slipping my mind. Easy, pre-made,
Easy
boom,
peasy.
easy peasy. And oh, I could, like I said, I could go on your videos forever at this point. But there was another video, and I have to stand up for you. And you're in your pantry of your equipment. Not one piece of equipment shall go. Each one of those has a specific cooking
Purpose.
necessity. It's just like when my wife goes, how many grills and smokers do you need? More. Well, why? I go, because I want to do briskets and pork pie. I break out Miss Mary, my big offset. If I just want to do an overnight one, I have my Kamado that can go overnight. I have certain Weber kettles that just cook chicken. Those are my chicken. If I'm cooking chicken, I am using this particular Weber kettle. If I'm doing burgers, I'm on this Weber kettle. Each one has its own purpose and protein attached to it. So all the equipment must stay.
Yeah,
And
she was
those
trying to.
niches,
She was trying to clean out the pantry one day, and she go, "What, honey? What is all this, baby? It's all got a purpose.
that's
It's in
it.
there. That
That's
it's in there
it.
because it has a purpose." But yeah, that little, yeah, those, that she told me one day. She goes, "Wow, all these people have seen the inside of our pantry."
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. And yeah, we need our tools. We need our seasonings. We need, the ingredients. As far as an expiration date, I consider that on a seasoning, that's just another man's opinion. That's just another man's opinion.
That was a good one. Yeah,
That was a good one.
yeah, that was a
No,
good one.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. That was. But see her, brother, I thank you. You've been so generous with your time. I could keep you all night long, be honest with you, and we can just go right down the list. But there's always time. This show is not going anywhere, and I would love to get with you and have a part two with you and get into more deeper into some of the recipes. But thank you so much, like I said, for everything you do, the joy and the happiness of your content, the recipes, the simplicity of the recipes, the affordability of the recipes to feed the families, doing God's work in an enjoyable, fun way. And you should, my hat's off to you. Um, Thank you. Just simply thank you and your wife for what you guys are doing to bringing this content to the masses. So thank you, brother.
I want to thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for having me on your show. Yeah, this has been fun.
No, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, guys, go check him out on all the social medias. It's Foodin Cousin C Herb. And I think YouTube is actually Foodin with Cousin C Herb, if I'm not mistaken.
It could be. It could
I
be.
think YouTube was Foodin with Cousin C Herb, but everything else is Foodin
Food Cousin C Herb.
Check it out. You guys are gonna love the content. You're gonna laugh hysterically, and you're gonna be taking notes on that because you are gonna try some of these recipes. I'll guarantee it. But brother, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and everything you do. Hang on 1 second. I'll close this out and I'll jump right back in with you. Excuse me, guys. Guys, I told you, an incredible gentleman, incredible recipes. Check it out. The enjoyment factor is beyond. And the recipes, man, they look so good. And like I said, everything is with under an hour right there in your kitchen. Cast iron, regular kitchen stove, and you're done. Food, incredible taste, and more importantly, the love and home style cooking, down home style, through the roof. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you as always. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You have all the episodes at your fingertips. And like I said, Facebook is deleting lives now after 30 days. So all the episodes, all 404 are in YouTube archives right for you. On the audio side, anywhere, any platform that has audio podcasts, I'm there. Any questions or comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. Always subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. February, March, April. Also this weekend, folks, happy Easter to you all and your families. Enjoy the time. And next Monday, I am joined by my brother Scotty from Sticks and Stones Barbecue. And I think maybe even Jeff from Fat Kids, talking about their upcoming contest and what they have in their contest in Connecticut. Talk about that and what they have planned on their calendars of for the upcoming competition. Yeah, so next week we're staying in New England, folks. But yeah, happy Easter, everybody. Enjoy the food, enjoy the family. Remember what it's all about. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.